About a month or so ago, I did a video talking about the IMF and the dollarization of the economy in Venezuela being, according to our government, the only real way out for that country. This is what you get when you bow the knee to the IMF. And I'm sure my audience knows this. I'm not telling you guys something you don't already know. But to see it in action, to literally see what happens when the time comes to pay the piper, when you make this deal with the devil, that's something you don't get in such close proximity to something like the issue with Venezuela. We can see Argentina, we can see Chile, we can see Haiti, we can see these countries, and then we can put that right next to what the U.S. says is the only real solution for Venezuela. The dollarization of the economy, the withdrawal of the Maduro regime, and all this other stuff. But I found something today I thought you guys would really be interested in. Yep, that's right. Everything I have been telling you about what was going on in the lead up to the changeover in 2016 is revealed here in this article, that there was a team in place specifically designed to cause chaos and destruction in Venezuela. As Secretary of State, Hillary Clinton led a team committed to delegitimizing the politics of the late Hugo Chavez and the Bolivarian Revolution. In 2010, Clinton asked Arturo Valenzuela, then Assistant Secretary of State for Western Hemisphere Affairs, how to, quote-unquote, rein in Chavez. Valenzuela responded that we need to carefully consider the consequences of publicly confronting him, but ought to look at opportunities for others in the region to help. Imagine that. Looking for opportunities for others in the region to help. Mean like the OAS, maybe? The Organization of American States? His answer was in line with the U.S. Embassy strategy in 2006, also revealed in WikiLeaks intelligence cables. Creative U.S. outreach to, quote-unquote, Chavez regional partners will drive a wedge between him and them. We also allow room for other international actors to respond. You mean like a story stating that encouraging Latin American countries to isolate Venezuela like we saw in yesterday's video? Like that, you mean? You see, I don't know how many of you would disagree with the headline of this story here. Does this sound remotely accurate? See, what this talks about here is something a lot of people have forgotten about. 2009, the U.S. engineered coup in Honduras that overthrew the populist president, Zelaya, a guy that had called the U.S. war on drugs a farce and a joke, and pursued things like destroying the demand for it and education. They just picked this guy up in his pajamas and whisked him off to Costa Rica so that the U.S. could have its neoliberal, loving new leader put in. And, of course, we know what neoliberal means in this context. Not U.S. liberal, of course. Neoliberal means big business, pro-globalist. You see, this is something that I don't think a lot of people can wrap their mind around. And it's hard for me to even read it, too, because I don't like the woman at all. But it doesn't seem like we have much of a change from this. What we're looking at here looks like current policy. Elected in 2005, Zelaya wanted to make a difference. 60% minimum wage increase, to the howls of protest from private business associations, criticizing the war on drugs as a pretext for foreign intervention. Wow. A pretext for foreign intervention. Zelaya proposed a fresh approach to drug problems centered on educating addicts and curbing demand. He thought this military airport should be transformed into an international civilian airport. And he joined ALBA. Now, ALBA is something I talked about a long time ago, ALBA. It is a group of countries, all those little islands, the vacation islands right north of Venezuela, with Venezuela and a few other countries wanting to reunite under one flag. In 2008, Washington sent as its ambassador to Tegucigalpa the man who had been director of Andean Affairs at the National Security Council during the failed U.S.-backed attempt to overthrow Hugo Chavez in 2002, Hugo Llorens. See, this is something the U.S. has done a lot down there. This is how they see the U.S. down there. And if somebody can read through this and tell me any differences in this policy and our current policy, I'd love to see them. I really don't. The U.S. policy now has considered regime change in Venezuela, and so did this one. These people have the same list of enemies as the current administration does. And then there's this. Snowden revealed this November 24, 2015. All the information that would have been needed to take down the PDVSA, the NSA, and the CIA got out of the U.S. Embassy in Caracas. This is why, about a month or so ago, Maduro said, screw it, and kicked out the last two U.S. Envoys, because they're all CIA operatives. And they're around the world. And this article reveals that. I don't think anybody in my audience is so naive as to believe that we don't have CIA and NSA operatives in embassies around the world. Why would this place be any different? And this guy, Ledesma, you're going to love this. This is February 20, 2015. See, this is when everything changed. That last year or two of the last administration. When this guy got thrown in jail, Ledesma, he was the mayor of Caracas, for being in league with big oil and being in league with U.S. intelligence services. Guess who the first person to come out and ask for his release was? Leopoldo Lopez and the political prisoners in Venezuela should be released without delay. Bill Clinton, at Bill Clinton, February 20, 2015. Oh, and look who's back. David Smildy, a senior fellow at the Washington Office on Latin America, WOLA. Isn't it strange how when we do these investigations into Venezuela and all of the problems and we always see this name coming up over and over again? This WOLA that we saw spray painted on houses right by Parkland, right in the backyard of this kid that supposedly did this stuff all by himself, and where these two agitators started their campaign of anti-gun. Weston, Florida. Too many coincidences here, kids. Too many things going on that all work together. That just, you got to call a spade when you see it. And when you see this, and you see this, you probably should stop, take a breath, and go, well, If this is the case, we should very much hope that the things we see now would be the literal opposite of it, but we don't see that, do we? I'm going to leave it there, and I'm not going to say anything else because I think you guys know where I'm coming from on this. But I'm going to be very interested to see what this summer holds. Like, share, subscribe.